being detained had no such protection. At this time, I don't need your help. It is the families that are being separated, abused, terrorized, harassed, and killed. This is happening to me, an American citizen born in the United States. What is happening to the people in here that have no one calling lawyers on their behalf, that have no constitutional rights to due process? What is happening to the people that will never be released to see their families, go to their jobs, or walk through their city ever again? Please take care of yourselves, your family, and your community. I am safe and healthy. If you feel compelled to help, please offer your help to the Immigrant Defense Network at immigrantdefensenetwork.org. If you know someone being detained by ICE, call or text SCARE, Minnesota at 612-06-3360 for 24/7. Don't let nothing that can happen. I get the sense Brandon didn't think that could happen to him. I remember that moment. First they came for one group, and I didn't do anything to help because I wasn't part of that group. Then they came for another group, and I didn't do anything because I wasn't part of that group. Working for ICE, going door to door, going door to door, going door to door.
Why is JD Vance saying on live national television that ICE is going to start going door to door? Door to door. Not border enforcement, not warrants, not court proceedings. Door to door. Hi everyone, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, you don't fucking the daily scream. You don't get to say ICE is going to start going door to door while simultaneously hiring up to 10,000 new ICE agents, expanding detention centers, contracting private companies to verify people's work and home addresses, including collecting records like utility bills and photographing property, and then act surprised when people are like, because it does. And let's be very clear, this isn't about like the worst of the worst. Nearly 75% of people in ICE detention have no criminal convictions. Many are asylum seekers, green card holders, people following the rules. Meanwhile, an ICE agent just shot and killed an unarmed U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. And not even hours later, JD Vance goes on live national television and is like, yeah, we're gonna scale this up a bit actually read the goddamn Constitution. The Fourth Amendment still exists. You know, that thing that protects people from unreasonable search and seizure from the U.S. government, requiring that warrants be supported by probable cause. You don't get to tell people if you're legal, you have nothing to fear, when an ICE agent literally just brutally murdered a mother of three. You don't get to tell people you have nothing to fear, while in that same breath also telling people they can exercise their citizenship on demand. That doesn't sound safe at all, actually. That sounds more like training the population to comply out of fear of being detained, kidnapped, or even worse, murdered. In other words, government agents going door to door does not send shivers down your spine, regardless of your political affiliation. And congratulations, man. You are way too comfortable with authoritarianism, but you would have thrived in 1940s Germany. This is the conservative.
How about this new one they have, the new star, Crockett? How about her? She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. But Cabinet Woman Crockett, she's a very low IQ person. I watched her speak the other day, and she's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett! Oh man, oh man. She's a very low IQ person. Crockett's gonna bring him back. To share that film set.
The President of the United States, on 4 separate occasions, mixed up Greenland with Iceland. He made up statistics about all sorts of things. How is that not something that is of concern to everybody?
This is the same This is his brain. This is the type
You want to think that it's Greenland and he called it Iceland and look at its land. They're talking about a framework to kind of organize everything and figure it out. Serious conversation.
The disappointing part about the tenor of this conversation is that we laugh it off, we excuse it. It's just Donald Trump, or he's something other. The comparison I look at is that Donald Trump's mental acuity, even before he aged, was mediocre at best. And somebody named somebody that they hit a home run, they were going on third base, because Daddy gave him $1 million for starting field, right? This is somebody who's failed and failed and failed. The people around him, Nancy Halleck and David call himself a United States lawyer anymore, mediocre at best. Their lives, decisions about CMS. Elon Musk has no idea about bureaucracy. Let me finish. Elon Musk has no idea about bureaucracy and government. You let him disable USAID. You're talking about RFK, the man who says he has a worm that ate his brain is now having a measles outbreak in South Carolina because he is over our health and human services. See, my biggest problem is that Barack Obama, for example, Barack Obama had to be a state senator. Barack Obama held because he had a selfie stick and wore a brown suit. But yet still, this man comes on stage in front of the world making rambles. And he says this, and he could have said that we saw between Wakanda and Mabel, right? And the Republicans would have been like, I'm glad we stopped that effort.
Can we just agree that men over 80 start to ramble and sound crazy, and that is what causes a lot of slip ups?
But for real, honestly, the President of the United
So things have escalated extremely quickly right now. We just have video confirmation that they murdered this man. 4 ICE agents had him tackled to the ground. They were on top of him when another officer shot and murdered him. He was not a threat to them, obviously, because they had control of his body because they were on top of him. Now they have released some sort of gas into the atmosphere. The ICE agents have gas masks on, and they are trying to get the people away. The people were barricading themselves from these ICE agents. It is a freaking war zone in Minneapolis, completely caused by ICE agents. I don't know what they're waiting for, but if the National Guard isn't sent in right now, they're going to be
Addressing the elephant in the room. Yes.
I'm here at the Minneapolis protest, and Cam Higby just showed up to try and pretend like we've been putting cinder blocks together to fight ICE agents. In reality, we were trying to light the fire for the 50th time because police officers keep showing up and putting it out. The white stuff on these fucking logs is their flame retardant, and they keep fucking throwing it down. So when you hear Cam Higby saying, "Oh, they were trying to get some cinder blocks together to fight ICE agents," first of all, fuck off. It would be warranted at this point. Second of all, we're not even doing that. Fuck off, you fucking Nazi. I'm here at the Minneapolis protest, and we just showed up to try and pretend like we've been putting cinder blocks together to fight ICE agents. In reality, we were trying to light the fire for the 5th fucking time because police officers keep showing up and putting it out. The white sub...
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed. But please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You and don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been done before. To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad.
I stand and raise my neighbor's house. Makes the man who pointed her out. And when I try to film and shout, he twists his mask over his eyes. Says it's just I stand knocks on my door. Not sure what it is. I stand knocks me to the ground. He said I should have watched my mouth. Freedom of speech is expensive.
O é vai o concentrir ou vai omitir.
Now it's my neck on the line. I should have watched my mouth when it came to I should have watched
Nang totoo sipir.
Businesses no longer should drag kids into Kansas. Why do they even want to reach kids? Where are kids the audience of this video? Because kids cooperate. Because kids can't read. Everyone grifts differently, as they say. Erica Kirk has been on more stocks in the last 3 months than most celebrities manage in a year. Fox News, Hannity, The Five, Fox and Friends outnumber Megyn Kelly, the New York Times Deal Book Summit, a $10,000 a plate fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago, and a 100,000 person memorial 11 days after Prince died. A book tour, a CEO announcement 8 days after his death, and the immediate assumption is this has got to be about money. She's cashing in, for sure, monetizing her late husband's death. She saw an opportunity and she took it, sure. Money is definitely real. The fundraising and the book sales are also real. But if you think this is just about money, you're missing the actual story. What Erica Kirk is doing is not just building wealth. She is building something way more dangerous. We knew Kirk's death was the uncorking of a level of political violence, but we did not expect this. We did not expect what she would do with this. And real quick, I am Lauren Paritra. The only way we counter voices like hers and his and the grift is to make sure that our voices are getting heard and louder. So please make sure you're subscribed. Let me walk you through what has been happening. Charlie Kirk was killed on September 10th, 2025. 8 days later, Erica was announced as the new CEO of Turning Point USA. 8 days. Most people are still planning the funeral. Most people are still figuring out how to imagine or tell their children what happened. Most people are trying to remember to eat. Erica was taking over a multi-million, for-profit political organization. And then came the memorial on September 21st, 11 days after his death. State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Police estimated that over 100,000 people, 100,000 people were there, which is way larger than most presidential campaign rallies. Erica targets because Christ did, and she said the answer to hate is not hate. No words, and she delivered this, of course, in front of cameras, photographers, media, documenting everything. 11 days after he died. Go Biz, baby. Compare that to other high-profile deaths, if we want to go a little south here. When Steve Irwin died, his widow, Terry, took over the Australia's zoo, which made sense because she had been running it with him. But she did not immediately launch a vegan tour, did not write a book or cash in on a book on his name within months, and she did not start giving interviews about how other women should adopt crocodiles or have gone with this. She agreed. She ran the organization, she stayed out of the spotlight. Erica Kirk waited 8 days and then full-on media Belinsky. It was like I've never seen before. Everyone grifts differently, as they say. Erica Kirk has been on more press stops in the last 3 months than most celebrities manage in a year.
Christian nationalist tell me I wasn't going to get to heaven. I'd like to read you my formal response. You keep that heaven then, the one where God turns me away, says I love too deep, too wide, too soft, too free, I was too open-handed with my empathy, where he says I sat in all the wrong pews or no pews at all, says I showed up for the ones others prayed would fall, because I've seen Jesus, and in places I was told to flee, in jail cells and shelters and broken beliefs. So if your God doesn't want me, I've made my peace. I never needed a mansion or open streets. I see Jesus in Gaza. You try to erase. I see Jesus in protest and in hospital tears, but never in your churches and never in your fear. No, I don't need your heaven with its gates of gold if it means walking through the sun and the cold. You built your heaven somewhere high, but turn this earth to hell, and why? You hoard your power, your comfort, your creed, while children are dying because of your greed. You weaponize the Prince of Peace to wage a war on the least of these. You're so worried about what a sinner deserves, you forgot to follow Jesus' words, the ones that healed, the ones that fed, the ones that broke rules and raised the dead. Jesus who wept, Jesus who stayed, Jesus who washed dirty feet, Jesus who prayed, he touched the leper, he stayed. He picked up the lost and made them come home. He didn't say, are you pure? You believing crowd. He just said, come. But you made a false god from culture and greed and all American Jesus who loves those he deems least. And you keep your Pharisees and your politics on. Your Paul-like prophets and your politicians you've turned into gods. If I must burn, let me burn with the heretics and the healers. Let me mark with the dreamers and the believers. Let me vote like every soul deserves a place at the table. Let me love like every person is sacred, not a label. And if your God looks at me and says, sorry, you chose compassion over law, then I'll nod and say, yeah. Jesus. Christ, I was barefoot on the ground and radically good. And it never asked the outcast to leave their heart behind. So if heaven means silence while this world suffers and burns, if it means denying my presence, please let me learn. Keep that heaven. Mine will be found in the faces of those this world keeps pushing down, in protest and in prayer, in tear gas and in sins, because my Jesus is there. Jesus is with you. He's with me. The Christian nationalists tell me that I wasn't going to get to heaven. Like
Train my 5-month-old gay queen.
If ICE is chasing someone and they suddenly run into your house or your small business, here's what the law actually says. They create a constitutional safe zone. If an undocumented person on their own runs inside your home or into the employees only area of your business, they've entered a protected area. ICE cannot enter those areas without a judicial warrant. 2, but you cannot help them get there. You cannot wave them in. You cannot shout, come inside.